this is I think also a very relevant platform, the Water Convention, as it deals with transboundary water management. And if you're talking about adaptation, you have to look at the entire basin, not only the national part of it.
More importantly, the people dimension about water adaptation. For so many years, we try to explain to people how it is working and how we should do it. And we partially succeed with integrated water resource management and so on. But in fact, it's still about people behavior, and the water management is in fact people work. The idea was to look at analysis of existing framework and guidelines, what could be the most useful to be used. And another part was to looking at different case study to explore how it was working. And the case study were 4 countries and 4 cities in Netherlands, Bangladesh, Mozambique, and Benin. But what I intend to do with this study was not to show what was done, but how it was done. There is a need or sense of urgency that's clear. Something that was very strong, that was the need for leadership. And there, what I would like to say is that it's maybe not always the traditional leadership that people see. It's not just the people at the top who knows how to do it, but it's also people in the field that are just doing it. If we want to really have successful adaptation, we have to do it together. A collaboration and this coalition that we need to build may not all be with people you agree with, of people you like, of people you trust. If we really want to have adaptation running, we need to go further than the people we like and that we are used to work with. Something which is also very important is the data and knowledge that we need to do the job. A community leader of a woman working in the field, this leadership is there. How are you going to show up in case of urgency, in case of emergency? And I think that's something which is not yet well explored, but it is something which is very important for the future.
You also have issues like a different language or a different culture. There's different stakes, so that makes it sometimes more difficult to cooperate on a transboundary level. A joint body is basically necessary when you try to cooperate on a transboundary level, and the joint body could be anything, but in general, there's this basin commissions that fulfill that role.
There is a lot of things happening in the field in terms of locally led adaptation. It's just that it's not called that way. So people are not even aware that they are doing locally led adaptation. In fact, all these guidelines are very important, and we should make use of them. What is more important is really to help people in the field to really make this happen. There is a lot of already happening. It's just not tagged as locally led adaptation, but at the end, we may be a very nice framework and we may have a very nice national water adaptation plan, climate plan, or whatever plan. At the end, this is the people in the field who are going to make this a reality. But in fact, the adaptation is often done by the community and they need grants. There is also a kind of discrepancy between what you can do at high level, and then you mobilize a lot of funding and people say, yes, we do that. And then in fact, this money is not reaching the people who is going to do the job.
The municipal level has a lot of support and interest in watershed protection and management and innovating in that space, and has, the bylaws in place to do that. But then the provincial and or federal higher up governments, their laws and regulations seem to trump over the bylaws.
Here, it's a very awkward situation that people know the problem is there and they're not willing to accept it.
It's difficult for people to change their mind because they have believed things for many years. But I would say the nice things with climate change is that you can say, okay, oh, but the situation has changed. So I am allowed to change my mind.
And what does transformation mean? I mean, that is the magical question. And so, but I think we need to go from a sectoral approach to an integrated approach, whatever that means. And we need to think long term, however we manage that, and we need to start thinking collaborative, different type of governance systems, and we need to think in systems. We need to think. So we really need to change our way of thinking. We focus a lot about the what and the engineering and the technical solutions, but we also need to really see the people-centered. How do we change mindsets? How do we change leadership approaches? How do we change those soft approaches? I think we've forgotten about those.
If we don't know exactly what's working, to just brainstorm and try to come together with some ideas on this change management element.